It appears as though it may now be getting to the end for lying, disgraced, diabolical, disgusting, delusional, doofy Republican Congressman George Santos. As you know, George Santos lied about just about every element of his past. I guess his name is really George Santos, but he's actually gone by other names. So there's very little we can say is definitely true about George Santos. He was indicted once already, and now he has been indicted again. As a result of this, there are now Republicans who are moving to expel George Santos. Reuters reports New York Republicans move to oust George Santos from the U.S. House. A group of New York State Republicans in the House of Representatives will introduce a motion to expel indicted fellow Republican George Santos from the chamber, two of the members said on Wednesday.
I did everything right and they indicted me.
Right. The move comes a day after federal prosecutors filed 23 totally fresh criminal counts against the first-term U.S. representative, accusing him of inflating his campaign's fundraising numbers and charging campaign contributors' credit cards without their consent. He has been enmeshed in scandal since November 2022. With a narrow 221 to 212 majority, the House Republican leadership has not taken action. Santos pleaded not guilty to the initial indictment, says he will do the same for this one. Let's look at some video. Here is Congressman Anthony D'Esposito from New York on his planned resolution to expel Santos from the chamber.
Are you going to offer a resolution to expel George Santos?
Yeah, that's the plan. We're going to, we plan on filing the resolution this afternoon. It's been co-sponsored by all the New York freshmen. We just feel that enough's enough. Obviously, a couple months back, the suggestion was made because there wasn't a 2/3 vote in order to remove him from the House of Representatives to send it to ethics. I know that ethics has been a little busy, but, it's time that we see some results. And after the latest indictment, I think it's clear that he's not fit to serve in the House of Representatives.
Yeah, it was actually clear much earlier, but I'm going to get back to that in a moment.
He's a stain on the institution, and that's why the New York freshmen have come together. He's also a stain on our state.
There you go. And it is a very horrible stain. It's one of those stains even OxyClean isn't going to get out. Another interesting question that was asked is, will Republicans try to make the Santos expulsion a requirement before they vote on Speaker, which would be an interesting way to force the hand of all Republicans. It does not appear that that's going to be the case. Take a listen.
So when there is a new Speaker of the House, is your plan to go directly to leadership and call for them to back this? I mean, you're sitting here saying that he's not the best representation of the Republican Party. We haven't heard that from Republican leadership right now.
I predict this resolution is going to catch fire. Many people feel how we do. And
right.
What my colleague, Mr. D'Esposito, said, he is a stain on this institution. Many people feel how we do, and we're eager to see everybody respond.
Are you making it a requirement for a vote for a new Speaker?
No, and like I said, I don't think that needs to be forced. I think this is going to be organic. And a lot of folks, I feel, from both sides of the aisle will support the removal of George Santos.
So the question, again, was, are you going to make this removal a requirement of the Speaker vote? And he says, no, I don't think we're going to need to force anybody to do it. I think the chamber, this legislative body, is ready to remove George Santos. So there are actually two different things here. Let's take it step by step. I am mixed on expelling Santos on the basis of indictments. Why do I say that? Indictments really are just allegations. Now, there is an insane amount of evidence against George Santos, but I'm a little bit mixed on the arbitrary nature of saying we will, if you're indicted, that's an accusation. You haven't been found guilty at this point in time or pleaded guilty. We're going to remove you. I don't believe there's a legal issue. Many companies, Senate has rules, corporations that say if you are indicted of crimes whose punishment could be 2 years in prison or whatever rule they want to put in, then you're suspended or you must resign or you're fired. I don't have any legal issue with that. But if we do believe in due process and the presumption of innocence until guilt is proven, then I don't know about removing someone because they've been indicted. However, we know, put aside crimes, George Santos was elected based on an imaginary story of his life that doesn't exist. He didn't have the business success that he claimed. He didn't have the education that he claimed. He wasn't the sports star that he claimed. He fabricated whole cloth incredibly significant elements of his background and of his life. And for that, he did that. We know he did that. I'm fine with his expulsion. Now, New York Republicans saying, well, these next set of indictments, dude's already been indicted multiple times. He lied about everything. So what do I think this is really about? I think this is about other New York Republicans realizing that in New York, Republicans are fewer and further between than in many other places, and that not acting to remove George Santos has the risk of sinking them all in November of 2024. I believe that this is primarily an act of self-preservation. It's not that I doubt that they think Santos is disgusting. I think they've thought that all along. The difference is they now are starting to make the calculation that not acting on Santos is going to hurt them come next election. So do I agree with expelling Santos based on all the lies that he told and that he was essentially elected as a different person who doesn't exist? Absolutely. Support it 100%. For the indictments, I don't know. I could go either way. Indictments are mere allegations. Is this primarily driven by self-preservation? I believe the answer is yes. Let me know what you think. One of our sponsors is Zippix nicotine toothpicks. Don't you think it's time you stopped putting smoke and vape oils in your lungs? Zippix toothpicks are a convenient way to curb the nicotine cravings. Zippix toothpicks are super discreet. You can use them anytime, anywhere smoking and vaping aren't allowed, including flights, sporting events, in restaurants. They're available in 6 different flavors with options of 2 and 3 milligrams of nicotine. If you're not a nicotine user, Zippix also offers caffeine and B12 infused toothpicks. Zippix has already helped tens of thousands of customers ditch the cigarettes, ditch the vapes. They might be able to help you too. If you're a smoker or a vapor, give Zippix toothpicks a try. Your lungs will thank you. Go to zippixtoothpicks.com today. Save 10% with the code PACMAN10 at checkout. Just remember, you must be 21 or older to order. The link is down below.